We start the 6 o'clock hour with breaking news. One person is dead, 8 others are hurt after an overnight shooting at a Denver nightclub. Thanks for being with us here at 6. I'm Drew Carney.
And I'm Sam Shocker. Our Ria Jha just got to the scene. Ria, what do we know so far?
Yeah, we just got here, and obviously, as you said, the biggest news is that 9 people were shot, 1 person is dead, and from what we can see right now, police actually haven't said where shots were fired, but we can see the parking lot that is completely trashed at the Ultra Lounge parking lot, and multiple evidence markers here. We are on the 9700 block of East Hampton Avenue. Denver police say the shooting happened at 12:07 this morning, and investigators believe at least 2 people fired shots. Police haven't announced any arrests or identified any suspects or said what led up to the shooting, but we did see the club posted an ad on its Instagram story yesterday for a 90s themed after party here that was supposed to go from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And this is also where police investigated a deadly assault earlier this year. A man was beaten to death in the club's parking lot in March, and 3 men now face second-degree murder charges in that case. And obviously, we are still working to find more information on this case, and we will update you guys as soon as we get that. Reporting live in Denver, Ria Jha, 9 News.
All right, Ria, thank you. And we are tracking a new fire in Grand County near Kremling. The Hartman Hill fire sparked yesterday, and on last update, it's burned about 101 acres. A mandatory evacuation is in place on County Road 1 from K16 milepost 9 through 16. And fire crews stuck around overnight to help keep it from spreading. We're waiting on them to give us an update.
Meanwhile, firefighters are making steady progress on the Ferris fire. This one is now 83% contained after a weekend rain and high humidity helped to slow activity down. Crews spent the weekend removing equipment from the fire line, repairing roads, and also putting out any remaining hot spots. With more rain and possible flash flooding in the forecast, firefighters also repositioned crews and equipment to keep them safe.
Firefighters are also gaining ground on the Willow Fire over in Lake County. The fire has grown to more than 11 square miles and is now 37% contained. Crews say extreme fire conditions like strong wind gusts, very dry fuels, and a lack of winter snowpack pushed the fire through the Dolores River Canyon. And despite the fire's fast growth, officials say firefighters kept it from destroying any structures. As firefighters are making progress, the weather, of course, Katie, remains a big part of the challenge. So Katie LaSalle in our 9 News backyard, we're dealing with a heat advisory and hopefully some monsoon moisture soon.
Yes, Sam, absolutely. That's what we're bracing for this week. We're looking ahead, particularly for tomorrow through the end of the week, a better chance for some much needed moisture. But for today, we've issued a weather impact alert based on the high heat we're anticipating once again. It's very comfortable in our backyard right now. 72 degrees currently, mostly clear skies, winds are calm. We do not have any fire weather watches or warnings in place, but air quality advisories still in effect down over portions of southern Colorado, where we are dealing with some of that wildfire smoke still from the Aspen Acres fire. Now here in Denver, it is 72 degrees, and later on today, we're expecting a high of around 100. So a heat advisory for the urban front range corridor, that's in place until 9 p.m. and then scattered storms and showers for the mountains. Not quite as hot through the rest of the week. Today will be by far the hottest day on the 7-day. Around 100 degrees from Denver to Boulder, Broomfield, up Fort Collins and Greeley. You can see that here in our forecasted highs, expected to reach these numbers right around 3 p.m. So all across the state, it's going to be a scorcher of an afternoon. Play it safe, and also in the mountains, keep your eyes to the sky. By 1 o'clock, we are going to be watching the clouds build in. Some pockets of heavy rain, much needed moisture. We'll look ahead at how much precipitation we're expecting to see through the course of this week coming up in your extended forecast. Brianna?
Because of the extreme heat, we're going to get to Brianna in just a moment. Sorry, Brianna, she's standing by. The roads are buckling. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's Department posted these pictures of significant damage along South Buckley Road. So this is between Arapahoe Road and Cayley Avenue, and South Buckley Road remains closed as crews work to repair the road there.
A water main break caused major traffic problems over in Adams County. The break forced crews to shut down Pecos Street between Del Norte and I-76 after the leak damaged the road. Crews with the water department responded to make repairs while drivers were asked to avoid the area altogether. Officials have since reopened one northbound lane and one southbound lane, but repairs are still underway. Brianna?
Thank you, guys. 6:04 is your time for this Monday morning. A live look of that morning rush hour traffic starting to pick up in this area for anyone taking 270 between York and Vasquez. So from I-25 to I-70, this is where you're going to see bumper-to-bumper traffic. So please keep that in mind, especially if you're taking 270 this morning. I suggest just avoiding it. You can always head down south along I-25 and then head eastbound along I-70. Now, getting to your drive times, we are not tracking any crashes this morning on our major interstates, but we do have one closure. That's that deadly shooting that Rhea was talking about earlier this morning. This is all happening along West Hamden. According to Denver police, they are saying that westbound Hamden is shut down this morning close to South Florence Street. So this is not far from Yosemite and Hamden. And then eastbound lanes are down to just one lane. Now you're going to see Denver police there on scene as they investigate this deadly shooting that happened earlier this morning. Now other parts of the metro, 6th Avenue for anyone heading eastbound towards I-70 or I-25, I should say, it's going to be a 7-minute drive.
All right, thanks, Brianna. Back to our news headlines here. The FDA is changing course in its investigation into a multi-state cyclospora outbreak. The agency says a test that linked Taylor Farms iceberg lettuce to the outbreak actually came back a false positive.
But investigators aren't ruling the lettuce out. They say their traceback still points to shredded iceberg lettuce from Taylor Farms, Mexico as the likely source, so the recall remains in place while they test more samples. More than 1,600 people across the country have been sickened. Colorado isn't one of the 5 states linked to the outbreak, and the company says the recalled lettuce wasn't shipped here. Health officials say if you develop diarrhea, stomach cramps, nausea, or fatigue after eating shredded iceberg lettuce, you should contact your doctor.
Later tonight, Denver City Council will vote on a rewrite of the city's nightclub licensing rules. The proposal would let some bars and clubs stay open until 4 in the morning. Last call for alcohol, though, would still be at 2. One bar owner told us he's mostly concerned about new security and crowd enforcement rules.
Small businesses need clear, predictable rules, not more uncertain. All these additional little measures that are just an additional cost. I don't get it.
If this does pass, the new rules would take effect next April.
A Denver judge has dismissed a lawsuit over unpaid work at the now closed Riot House Denver nightclub. The suit was originally filed last December, claiming that the companies that helped develop the Riot House Denver project still owed $80,000 on a $700,000 contract. Riot Hospitality Group and Montfort COS argued that they were not legally responsible for the club's debts and asked to be removed from the case. Last week, a judge agreed, dismissing the lawsuit against the two. But the judge left open the option for the vendor to sue only Riot House Denver for the money.
Several Avon Police Department cameras were stolen and destroyed over the weekend. Officers at this point are trying to figure out who did it. Police say 2 speed reading camera poles on Avon Road were destroyed and another was stolen. Police also tell us a license plate reading camera mounted at the corner of Stonebridge Drive and Highway 6 was taken, and a light pole at that very spot was also knocked down. Police are asking anyone with information about this to come forward.
Well, do you ever think speeding will get you there faster? A new study says you need to think again because researchers from the University of Minnesota looked at more than 120 million trips across the country and found most drivers gain very little by driving over the speed limit. In fact, driving the speed limit would add just 54 seconds to the average day behind the wheel, but slowing down could really pay off. Researchers say drivers were to drive the speed limit, they could save about $22 million in fuel, 6.7 million gallons of gas, and prevent 57,000 metric tons of carbon emissions every day. Kate?
At 6:08, the sun is shining and it is going to be a very quick warm-up. We've issued a weather impact alert for this Monday based on the high heat we're anticipating. You can see by 10 o'clock already at 87 degrees. We'll hit the low to mid 90s by lunchtime, and the highest temperatures that we're expecting to see will be right around 3 p.m. at near 100. So stay cool, protect yourself, your pets today. A heat advisory in effect until 9 p.m. Then tomorrow and on Wednesday, still very warm in the 90s, closer to average, slightly above so. We'll talk more about the storms and showers we're anticipating from the mountains to the metro in your extended forecast after the break.
Well, today marks 14 years since a gunman opened fire in a movie theater in Aurora. 13 souls were lost, 12 people and an unborn baby.
70 others were hurt every year. We do pause to remember those who died as we promise to never forget them.